Hello everyone. Today my topic is cell metabolism. In this particular topic, I am going to discuss only the basic concepts of the metabolism and which is important to better understand the various terminologies and various type of reactions that are involved in the metabolism, and we should understand about what are the metabolic pathways, then how many ways the metabolic pathways are arranged, and here I am going to give you a brief discussion on this basic concepts of the metabolism. So let's start the class. So we should understand one thing. What is life? The life has been defined by the many ways. When come to the science, we will define as the life is, so with respect to the life science, it can be defined as a cell which is having many metabolic reactions or metabolic pathways. If that can perform, we call them as that particular cell is that life. Right? So life is nothing but in with respect to the single cell, the life is nothing but various metabolic pathways that are happened in that particular cell. We'll call them as life. So here we should understand first of all what is the metabolism. Before we are going into the details of metabolism, we should understand that the metabolism will start from after you eat. Right, whatever the food you will take, or whatever the food you injected into your system, then where exactly the starting of metabolism can initiate it. So here we will try to understand where does this food come from. So this is very important, and which is a very basic fundamental we should understand here. All right, can you say what from where does we get the food? This is very simple. Like we all of know, this is a very famous reaction which is called as photosynthesis. So in this photosynthesis, most of the greeny parts of the plants, even certain bacteria like cyanobacteria, where they will harvest the light energy, and that can be combined with the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is to be taken from the atmosphere and water is from the soil, and together in presence of light that can be released oxygen, as well as it can synthesize carbohydrates. So this particular reaction we call them as photosynthesis. These carbohydrates that can be stored in different kinds or different type of the forms in the plant, and ultimately that can be useful for the various activities of plant as well as to the humans and animals. So this type of mechanism we call them as an autotrophs. Autotrophs are the organisms, are the plants, are the bacteria. They can have the self capacity to produce the food. When I come to the animals and humans, because we don't have the greeny material that we call them as a chloroplast, so we comes under the heterotrophs. Heterotrophs will depend on the autotrophs for their food. So this is very important, right? So we will get the food from the process we call them as photosynthesis. Now coming to the definition of metabolism. So the metabolism is the set of chemical reactions that occur in the living organisms in order to maintain the life. And this is what the exact definition of metabolism. That is, in a simple sense, we can also say it as, which is a series of chemical reactions that can be happens in a living cell. And what are the metabolic pathways? The metabolic pathways are, these are a complex sequences of controlled biochemical reactions. If these chemical reactions are controlled by a external agents are controlled by an control factors, then we call them as this is unmetabolic pathways. There are many different kinds of metabolic pathways that can be existing in the living cell. Right? It's clear. Then what is the goal of this metabolism? This we should understand. So the first one, why this metabolism has to be happen in the living cell. That is, one thing is, first and foremost important thing is to obtain chemical energy. There is a energy that can be stored in plants or plant materials. To extract that energy, this metabolism has been processed, has been starting in the living cell. So why this energy is important? So this is to be important to grow the cells and to reproduce and to maintain its own structures and to give a response to the environmental factors. These are the various activities the living thing can perform. For all these activities, the cell should require energy. That energy will obtain from because of this biochemical pathways. And coming to the second one is cell own macromolecules. So because of this metabolism, cell also prepare its own macromolecules. Example, here I have given carbohydrates from monosaccharides, proteins from amino acids, nucleic acids from nucleosides and types. Right? From the simple units to be macromolecules can be synthesized with the help of these metabolic pathways. And coming to the one more important function is this can synthesize and sometimes it can degrade biomolecules which are required for specialized cellular functions. For suppose if you take the plasma membrane will require the cholesterol and various interior and exterior proteins and lipid molecules. Whenever the cell required its composition, the change in the composition, according to that it can synthesize or it can degrade their macromolecules in order to suit for its cellular structures. Right? These are the three major goals of any metabolism that can be happen in the cell. Now, so you need to understand the little terminology. What are metabolites? The metabolites are nothing but these are the precursors which are converted into product through a series of metabolic intermediates. So we call them as metabolites. Then these are the precursors and which can be converted into the intermediate products, and finally the end product we call them as a metabolites. Then there is a one more term that is also existing which we call them as intermediary metabolism. What is mean by intermediary metabolism? Here the combined activities of all metabolic pathways that interconvert precursors, metabolites and products of low molecular weight. So what do you mean by intermediary metabolism? Intermediary metabolism is nothing but the precursors are the products which can be converted into low molecular weight compounds. When you compare this molecular weight, the end product molecular weight with this, the initial compounds, definitely these can be a low molecular weight compounds that can be prepared in the intermediary metabolism. All right, this is, I already explained about the photosynthesis, how it has been taken place and where does we'll get the food. And coming to the metabolism types. So how many ways the metabolism can be done in a living cell, or it can be existing in the living cell. So the metabolism that can be present in the living cell will be on, for our better understanding, will be on three types. First one is catabolism, second one is anabolism, third one is ampobolic pathways. Right? Now coming to the catabolism. So which I am going to discuss very precise about the catabolism. about these types. So catabolism is, we also call them as degradative pathway. So the degradative pathway means the macromolecules are going to be degraded into a simple molecule. So that's what the macro to mini. So it's called degradative pathway. And second point of catabolism is the organic nutrient molecules are converted into smaller, simpler end products. That's what the degradation. And one of the important point which we should always remember is this catabolism is always release energy. This energy is being stored in ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, and whenever the cell require energy for various activities like reproduction, like maintenance of structure, like its growth, like to stimulus to the environment, in that particular condition, this energy is being utilized by the cell. But not only producing energy, and some kind of energy it can be released as heat. These are the major three important what the functions of this catabolism. Now you can see the anabolism. Anabolism is nothing but we call them as biosynthetic pathway. The name itself indicates, which is complete reversal of catabolism. Biosynthetic pathway. Here the small simple precursors are converting into large and complex molecules. Whenever the body required the complex molecules like DNA, like molecules like proteins, and even the glycogen, if these are, we call them as a macrobiomolecules that can be synthesized from the small simple precursors. This process we call anabolism. And important thing is here is this anabolism is always require energy. It can take the energy from ATP and it can try to construct these simple molecules and making and finally making into the larger molecules. And one more important terminology that we should understand, amphiboolic pathways. This can also we will look into it, and we generally hear in a very vast manner in the metabolic conditions. So the amphiboolic pathway is nothing but this can be a connecting link between the catabolism and anabolism. So the connecting link in between catabolism and anabolism, we call them as, this is amphiboolic pathways. So better when we are going into discuss their respective metabolic pathways, where we can understand about different kinds of these amphiboolic pathways and their significance. Here I have given a best example is citric acid cycle, that you should remember. And here this is a very simple diagram. Just I want to show you to better remember. For suppose you take here the food A, B, C. These are macromolecules. Let us consider carbohydrate, protein, and nucleic acid. So these are a very big molecules. We call them as macromolecules. Once these are enter into the cell, because of catabolic pathway, because of this catabolic pathway, what will happen? This can be converted into the simple subunits. These we call them as building blocks. And not only producing the simple substrates or simple products, which can also be release energy and heat. And this anabolic pathway will take these simple building blocks and it can be constructed into macromolecule, other macromolecules. Here I am given D, E, F. So this we call them as anabolic pathway. It's clear? Then if you see, the metabolic pathway can take several different forms. This we should understand, because which is looks like simple, but we should always to be think about whether that particular pathway, if we are studying, whether it is comes under among these three, and this particular pathway is suitable for what kind of these forms. So all metabolic pathways can be divided into three different forms. This is for the better understanding. First one is linear pathway. So here better I will make it draw. So this we call them as metabolic pathway. Sorry, this is a linear pathway. Linear pathway. Second one is to be cyclic pathway. Third one is to be branched pathway. So linear we also call them as unbranching pathway or linear pathway. What does this terminology mean? This we should understand. If you take any kind of the metabolic pathways in a living cell, those will comes under any one of these three categories. So first one, linear pathway. The linear pathway is nothing but, you can see here, the precursors will be converted into the end products. You can see A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E. And the last end product, the precursors will be converting into the end product. This end product will be taken for the next type of reactions. So we call them as, this pathway is linear pathway. Then what do you mean by cyclic pathway? The linear pathway, here I have given the example, is conversion of 3-phosphoglycerate into serine. This is the best example for the linear pathway. This always you should remember. In order to give an example, you should remember that conversion of 3-phosphoglycerate into serine is best example for the linear pathway. And coming to the cyclic pathway here, the end product will be taken and this can be combined with the one of the regenerated substrate or regenerated precursor, and finally it can produce different kinds of the substrates and it is again regenerated. So the cyclic mean, which is very simple. So all the reactions will go in the cyclic manner. Initially one substrate is utilized in the first reaction, and finally the same substrate has been regenerated. Along with the end product is also be formed. This type of reactions we call them as cyclic pathway. The best example is Krebs cycle. And the third one is branching pathway. Branching pathway here, if you take the precursor will be converted into the multiple end products or multiple molecules, and these multiple molecules will have their own involved in their own different biochemical pathways. These things we call them as branching pathway. So these are the three different forms we should understand: linear, cyclic, and branching pathway. Now come to the metabolic reactions. This is very important, because for a better understanding of all these metabolic reactions mean it's a simple conversion of chemicals from one form to the other form with the help of enzymes. So in order to better understand these chemical reactions, here I am going to talk about few chemical reactions which are very essential for the all metabolic pathways. Here all metabolic reactions have divided into 5 different categories. First one is oxidation reduction reactions. Don't worry, I am going to explain very brief, which is not involved much of the chemistry here. And second thing is reactions that make or break carbon bonds. That is the second type of reactions. The third type of reactions is internal rearrangements like isomerization and eliminations. This is involved in metabolic pathways. And the fourth one is group transfer reactions. And last, the final one is free radical reactions. All these 5 different kinds of the reactions which are to be involved in many or almost all biochemical pathways. So here, any reaction that can be governed by or that can be done in the presence of enzyme, we should understand that particular reaction will be among one of these 5 reactions. So we should understand that. Now I am going to talk about each and every one with a very basic introduction. This we should understand. All right. Before I am going to talk about all these 5 different type of reactions, we should understand about the covalent bond. This is very important. If you take any kind of the biomolecule will be made up of carbons. So the bond between carbon and carbon, we always call them as covalent bond. This is a very strong bond. So the breaking of covalent bond is very essential in any kind of metabolic pathways. So this covalent bond breaking will be done in 2 different ways. First one is homeolytic cleavage. You can see here. This is to be an homeolytic cleavage. On this homeolytic cleavage, what's happened? So each atom cleaves the bond as a radical and carrying one of the 2 electrons that held the bounded atoms together. This is important. So what do you mean by homolytic cleavage? Homolytic cleavage is nothing but the shared electrons for formation of covalent bond will be exactly broken, and the sharing of electrons will be equally shared by these carbons. So we call them as this is homolytic cleavage. Because of this homolytic cleavage, generally this is not a common reaction in the metabolic pathways. You just see the example here. For suppose this is to be an carbon and hydrogen, where you can see this is 1 electron and this is unpaired electron of hydrogen will together will form the carbon radicals. Okay. So this we call them as breaking of covalent bond. This is the first category. And coming to the second category, we call them as heterolytic cleavage. Heterolytic cleavage, which is a very common type of reaction that can be taking place in the all metabolic pathways. So here heterolytic means that 2 electrons, the shared 2 electrons will be given to only one molecule, which is not to be shared. This is not to be equally shared. So which is heterolytic cleavage. Because of this heterolytic cleavage, the carbon can be in 3 different forms: carbon ion, carbon cation, and carbon ion. So because of anion and cation, that is whether it can get 2 electrons or whether it can lose 2 electrons, depending that carbon cation, carbon anion can be formed. So these are to be breaking of covalent bond. Now we are going to discuss about the reactions of this metabolic pathways, important reactions. Though among them, first one is oxidative or oxidation reduction reactions. The oxidation reduction reactions, here it's a very simple. The compound loses 2 electrons and 2 hydrogen ions. We call them as oxidation and reduction. Here nothing but 2 hydrogen atoms are released. So the best example for this category is dehydrogenations or dehydrogenases are the enzymes which can involved in the oxidation reduction reactions. So oxygen atom is derived directly from the molecular oxygen. Then that particular enzyme, we call them as oxygenases. So you should remember, wherever you get the oxygenase or dehydrogenase, if these 2 enzymes, if you see in any metabolic pathway, you should clearly remember that this type of reactions are always oxidation reduction reactions. Here every oxidation must be accompanied by a reduction, so in which an electron acceptor acquires the electrons removed by the oxidation, right? So here I have given a best example, which is very simple example, and these things we will discuss in the corresponding metabolic pathways very extensively. So the lactate is converted into pyruvate. So here you can see the 2 hydrogens which I have colored here. The 2 hydrogens that can be present in the second carbon of this lactate will be released along with the 2 electrons, and finally the double bond will be formed here. So this we call them as oxidation reduction reactions. So lactate is converted into pyruvate with the help of enzyme lactate dehydrogenase. So it's a dehydrogenase, that's nothing but which is involving in the oxidation reduction reactions. Now coming to the second type of reaction, that is make or break of carbon atoms. So these carbon atoms, as we discussed, heterolytic cleavage will be very common. So heterolytic cleavage of carbon compounds, where especially enzymes involved is condensation reactions. So the condensation reactions where the water molecule will be utilized, and hydrolysis. These are the best example for the this heterolytic cleavage of carbon bonds. And second one is formation of carbon bond. This is also very important. So either it can be break the carbon bonds, or it can be form the carbon bonds. If the formation of carbon bonds, the enzymes which are involved, we call them as decarboxylases. Decarboxylases are the best enzymes which are present in many metabolic pathways, will have a major role in the regulation of that particular biochemical pathway. In some reactions, this role is played by an imine group or a specialized cofactor, that is pyridoxal phosphate. You should remember, whenever you see the terminology or you see the enzyme that is decarboxylase, definitely it should require the cofactor, that is pyridoxal phosphate. So you can see here the reaction. So this is decarboxylation of beta keto acid. So this electron shift has to be happening, and finally the CO2 will be released. Because of the CO2 released, and there is bond formation that can be taking place at the this C and O. So this is called the second type of reactions. And coming to the third type of reaction, this is internal rearrangement and isomerization reactions, where the redistribution of electrons can be happening. That can be in the double bond or transposition of double bonds, or cis-trans rearrangement of double bonds, or because of isomerism. Because of all these three factors, the rearrangement of electrons can be happen. This type of reactions we call them as isomerization reactions. Here the best example I have given is phosphohexose isomerase. Phosphohexose isomerase is the best example for the rearrangement or isomerization reactions. So isomerases are nothing but, you should remember, the rearrangement of group or rearrangement of electrons can be taken place within the precursor molecule. So elimination of water introduce a carbon bond between two carbons that previously were saturated. This is also be done. So here the best example I have given, glucose 6-phosphate, which is to be converted into fructose 6-phosphate in the presence of enzyme phosphohexose isomerase. This is phosphofructose isomerase. This is one of the regulation enzyme in the glycolysis, where the phosphate group, you just see the rearrangement things. Here the glucose will be converted into fructose. The phosphate group will be at the same position. Here the glucose, the functional group will be aldehyde at the C1 position, and here fructose, the functional group will be at the C2 position. The aldehyde will be converting into the keto group at the C2 position. So that is only a rearrangement of the groups. So this is the best example for the isomerase reactions. And fourth one is group transfer reactions. Here the group transfer reactions, the best example I have given is acyl, glycosyl and phosphoryl groups are transferred from one precursor to the next precursor. Example is chymotrypsin. And you should understand here the group transfer reactions, especially the phosphate group will play the major role. This phosphorylation transfers or phosphate group transfer play a special role in metabolic pathways. What are that special role? Because of the addition of phosphate group will activate the enzymes so that the metabolic pathway will be continued. If you remove the phosphate group, that particular enzymes are inactive, the metabolic pathway is stopped. This is like an activation, deactivation of metabolic pathways can be with the help of this phosphate group transfer. Here I have given one example, that is kinases and phosphatases. Wherever you find these kinases and phosphatases, you should remember that kinases which can add the phosphate to the precursor, phosphatases which can remove the phosphate from the precursor. So here again the famous example I have given is glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate. This is the first reaction which is catalyzed in the glycolysis, where you can see the ATP is always to be phosphate donor. So the phosphate is taken from the ATP and which is to be attached to the glucose at the 6th position, at the 6th carbon. So we call glucose 6-phosphate. The enzyme is hexokinase. You remember kinase. So the phosphatase, that glucose 6-phosphate in presence of phosphatase enzyme, that is converted into glucose plus ATP, that is reversal reaction. And coming to the last 5th reaction is, this is free radical reactions. So generally the free radical reactions can be generated with the homolytic cleavage of covalent bonds. Here I have given a few enzymes which are involved for the generation of these free radicals. Methyl malonyl CoA mutase. Second is ribonucleotide reductase. Third one is DNA photolyase. These are, you just remember the enzyme names, but there are many enzymes which will come to this category, right? Because of these enzymes that can release the free radicals in a system. So these free radicals are nothing but, you just remember that this is unpaired electrons. Unpaired electrons, if that is present in the cell, these are to be dangerous and which will have a many adverse effect to the cell. And in order to combat this situation, our cell has produced certain enzymes. We call them as antioxidant enzymes. These are few of examples I have given here: superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione peroxidase. So these are not a very common reaction, but these can also be present in metabolic pathways. So here I have given an example is ribonucleotide reductase. You can see this ribonucleotide reductase will convert the ribonucleotides into the deoxyribonucleotides. That is nothing but RNAs to the DNA. So if you see the ribonucleotide reductase, we'll have the 3 major classifications: class 1, class 2, and class 3. Anyway, I'm not going to discuss here because this is not an appropriate time to discuss. So this is the 5th type of reaction that can be taking place in the metabolic pathways. So friends, this is all for today's class, and the next coming classes I'll try to explain about the basic metabolisms and all these things. In this, you should understand that you should take home points you should note down the take home points what are catabolism, what is anabolism, and generally where do we get the food, and the various kinds of the metabolic reactions which can come under this different types. This you should always remember. And bye bye, and I'll see you in the next class.